Oh, hey, welcome back. I am Courtney. This is the Accounting Struggle. I am so glad you could join. Today we're going to be talking about the CPA exam, breaking down all 4 parts. I will link to the other 3 sections in the description box. If there's anything that I do not cover, please let me know in the comments and I will answer as best I can. This is meant to be kind of a brief overview of what to expect for those who are just starting out on their CPA journey. I got a bunch of questions about the exam and the overall process of taking it and what to expect. So I just thought I would just answer some basics. So today I'm going to be talking about audit, and audit is my personal favorite section of the exam. I thought it was the easiest. I scored the highest on audit. It was the first one I took and the last one I took. The first shall be last and the last shall be first. I got an 85 on it the first time. The second time I got a 77 because it was the last exam and I was just trying to pass. So I took it. You already know the story. I took it, it expired, all that good stuff. So anywho, audit is, in my opinion, the easiest of all the sections. Number 1, it is the shortest. Well, it's the same amount of information as BEC, but it's still only one topic. Everything in this book is audit. So that makes it feel shorter than BEC. So it is 6 chapters and it covers the overall audit letter. So every single paragraph under all different scenarios. It covers who regulates audits, who's in charge. It talks about engagement types, whether or not you need to be independent for which type of engagements, what types of things are you allowed to say, can you give an opinion, can you not, what type of opinion. It talks a lot about assertions and a lot about sampling and evidence and support and controls. All that good stuff. If you found audit to be interesting like I did in college, you will love this exam. It is very similar, if you had a great professor like I did, it is very similar to what you saw in your course. However, it is just going to dig a lot deeper. It really, really, truly tests your knowledge of the assertions, which makes sense. But this one, with the assertions, that part is very conceptual. You have to be able to logic your way through and think your way through and think like an auditor. What am I looking for? What assertion am I testing? Do I have the right evidence to support what is being claimed by the client? Should I trust this client? Am I in a position to be able to trust this client? There's all of that good stuff on the exam. So some things you should know about it. One of the best approaches with this one, because it builds and it's very cumulative and it goes from like first section, I think the very first chapter covers the framework, which is crime, that's the acronym. So it covers the basic sections of the framework and just understanding that, and then from there it builds on what's in the auditor's letter, who is responsible for what is the manager's responsibility, what is the auditor's responsibility, what type of information or opinion are we giving, if any, and then it goes into different types of engagement, and it just keeps building, which is nice. So this one, like with all, I say you should study cumulatively. So if you're studying 1, 2, and 3, you're reviewing 1, 2, and 3, and you pick up 4, and then you're still gonna review all through 1 through 4. Don't just review one chapter and forget about everything else, because this information is all very related and it builds and builds and builds all the way to the final chapter. So there's that. With audit, you can get this done, I would say, even for your first try, not a retake, something that because I took it 3 years apart, so it didn't feel like a retake. It felt like I was taking it all over again from scratch. And when I did, I still was able to get it done, I think in 5 weeks, and that was working full time. So yeah, this is not something that you need 2 and 3, 4 months for. You need to be able to study frequently though. I studied every single day. I studied when I woke up. I studied before I went to bed. I studied while I was in bed scrolling. Like, instead of scrolling on my timeline on Instagram, I would scroll Becker's questions. So I deleted the apps off my phone, like all my social media apps, so that instead of being tempted to reach for Instagram or, Pinterest, I would just scroll Becker and answer multiple choice questions. And I did this every single day. And then of course I would have actual real focused study sessions where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get through modules 1, 2, and 3. Best advice, like I said, with all the other sections, you want to start with the multiple choice questions and then listen to the lecture, so that when you listen to the lecture, you will listen intently, you will listen actively, you will know what to listen for. So I think that will be incredibly helpful. Here's the thing with audit though. Although I say it's one of the easier ones, never go into it, any section, but never go into any section of the exam thinking like, oh, this is about to be a breeze. Because everybody's different and what you connect with is what you connect with. For me, it was the easier section, but the simulations are intense on audit. I mean, it's basically like you're doing a full audit in some of these. They, you know, with the simulations, you have maybe 15 to 20 minutes for each one. You really want to make sure you are familiar with them. So practice as much as you can with the simulations. Don't just focus on the multiple choice questions. Focus on both. You need to study both. So when you're doing your reviews, and this is something I would suggest doing at least at the end of each week. So if you're just covering all of the information throughout the week, your review at the end of the week should be questions and simulations, both. It's really important that you practice the sims because, like I said, they're a little disrespectful, a little aggressive. They kind of are a little ridiculous, actually. The multiple choice questions, if you know the information, those are kind of a breeze. But you can't pass just with multiple choice questions. You have to be able to get through the sims. And they are similar to reg in that they're giving you what you would have from a real client scenario, but it's like a miniature client. A lot of exhibits to go through. They'll give you a ton of emails, a ton of like packing slips and vouchers and things you have to look at, letters and memos from the controller and all types of stuff. And they're giving you a bunch of information, some of which you won't even need to solve what the question is asking you to solve. A lot of it is just a distractor. The CPA loves distractors. They love giving you information that is not useful or necessary to answer the question, just because they're really childish and that's just what they do. But they also are really just trying to test your knowledge to determine how focused can you be, what do you know, what to keep and what to get rid of and all that. So make sure you get enough practice with the simulations because they are not very easy. The first time you see them should not be on the exam at all. And another study tip, when you are going through the material, you can get your scores on the practice exams that you take. Don't get in the habit of saying like, okay, I am really scoring high on, you know, chapters 5 and 6 or whatever, and I'm not scoring as high on chapter 1, and that doesn't feed my ego as much, so I'm gonna focus and keep practicing chapters, you know, 5 and 6 because I'm killing it over there. And that makes me feel like I know and I'm ready for this exam. If you see that you are weaker at a subject, if there's one particular chapter that you seem to be struggling with, revisit those lectures, listen to them again, go back and read some of the text so that you can really figure out where you're struggling with, you know, what information, and break it all the way down so that, you know, whatever areas you're weaker in, you really grasp that information so you're ready when you're taking the exam in real life. Because what you see on Becker is pretty much the exact same thing that you're going to see on the exam. So if Becker is telling you that you're not ready for chapter 4, go back through chapter 4 completely. You want to be scoring on all of these exams when you're practicing, because you need a 75 to pass. You need to be getting, I would say, at least an 85 on average on your multiple choice and your simulations to feel like comfortable enough to go into the exam. If you are the day before your exam still getting like 68, 69, 71, 72 on average, you might pass, but you are more likely to end up with a 73, a 74. I mean, these are clear indications. Becker does grade a little more harshly than the exam, but don't give yourself too much grace, because yeah, you'll fail and that will suck. But I have a video for that too. So that is all that I have on those 4, and that's all I have on audit. I really hope that you found this helpful. If not, if there's something I did not cover, please let me know in the comments and I will address it as such. Let me know how your journey is going. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.